Welcome to Brightly Radiant Being, the show that wildly recognizes, encourages, and invests in the radiance we all carry so you can shine your brightest. Each episode, we share soul-driven advice and topics to help you live more brightly in mind, body, and spirit. Through sharing our experiences, friendship, and passions, we hope to impact you to step more brightly into yourself, inch by inch. Hi,
Tracy,
Amy.
Tracy. It feels so like it's been so long since I've talked to you.
It has. Well, you just had a mini little vacay and we didn't record beforehand. So this will be nice to kind of catch up. And I actually want to talk about or start with the mini little vacay we took together at the start of August.
Yes.
Do you remember the tarot card reading you did for me?
Well, I remember doing the tarot card reading for you, but I don't know if I remember. I can't remember like everything about it.
Do you remember my reaction to it?
Yes. I think you were, I feel like you were not happy and disgusted, maybe.
Well, I got to work on my outside face then. Inside, it was just irritated and annoyed because it was the same crap that I get for myself.
Yeah.
And I was even before the show today, I was looking on my phone to send you a picture of it, just like if we wanted to talk about it. Yeah. And then I remembered when I couldn't find said picture that you asked, and I was like, no. I know
that's right.
I do not want to remember this moment at all. But so we each did a tarot card reading for each other, and Amy's was just like so jaw-droppingly like, I feel like it was definitely an answer to your question. And gave you some ideas and clarity and insight, and was just a delight to get to be a part of. Mine was like, yeah, stop asking about life. Just chill out for a bit. There's stuff's happening in the background. You don't have to do anything.
It was. And it's that thing that you always get, like, no, this is the time for not doing anything. This is the time for rest. This is the time for this.
Yeah.
You're like, no, damn it.
I've been resting. I need to prepare.
I've been resting. I've been being resting, and I'm done with the resting.
I know there was a point with my new deck where you're like, God, I like these. I should get myself this. And I was about to be like, you can have it. Then I remembered every deck I own has told me the same story. So maybe it's not the deck. But so I didn't remember the exact question. It was just kind of like life and what should I be doing and where should I be going? Because I feel like I'm kind of in this loop, but yet in a hermit mode and not really moving forward, but kind of feeling like if I don't move forward, like, is something bad going to happen? Right? Like if I'm not taking action.
And yeah, we've talked about that, where it felt to you as if other people all around you were moving forward or moving or doing things, and you were sort of just like in the middle while everyone else around you was moving and doing. But what did you just say, that if you didn't move forward, something bad would happen?
Or if all these changes around me, if I didn't also change in some way, a change I didn't want to occur would happen for me, just as like collateral damage, or like something would get ignited based off somebody else's, their kind of explosion in their life, right? Talk about self-centered, I know, but so I have all these transitions that were going around me, or like potential or like forthcoming things where I knew people were going to have big changes in their life. And there was a moment in August where I was just kind of like, I still don't know what I should do. I am comfortable where I'm at, but do feel like I should be doing more. And I can't tell if that's my intuition or if that's being too grounded, right? And too like trying to control it, like, which is it? And every tarot card reading is telling me to rest, as is therapists and people I know and friends and family. But I just had this moment where there was a lot of change that was potentially going to happen in my career. And then there was change happening in my community. And I just kind of like told the universe, like, I understand this could propel me somewhere. I'm not ready. Can we pause? And Amy, things have totally paused in other people's lives, and now I feel kind of bad. But
Oh,
and granted, like it feels like for everybody involved in this, the same things are happening, but it's just like a delay for something better for them. Like what they went for, they almost got, and then people involved were like, no, not this, but let's talk about XYZ that will have potential later on. And I just couldn't believe my luck in the moment where I was like, man, I really wanted this for all these people, but I was so not ready for it myself because I've been in this hermit mode and in this period of rest. And it just felt like it would have been an absolute tower moment, right? Like it just felt like I wouldn't have succeeded because I wasn't ready to take the opportunities that like people moving and changing can create opportunities in your life, right?
Yeah, they can. I guess when I first heard you say you weren't ready, you needed a pause, I didn't realize that, like, were you thinking a pause in what other people are doing, or were you just thinking for yourself, but it manifested as outward?
Right. Everything kind of slowed down, but it hasn't stopped. Like they're all still working towards what they're working to.
Yeah.
But there's just kind of a little time delay. And I just had this moment where I was like, man, I was ready for everything to crumble in my face because thinking I deserved a tower moment for not being ready. And then it was like the universe was like, oh no, you're right. Like you are meant to be paused right now. And all this stuff should not be happening around you. So we're going to slow it down. At least that's how I'm going to look at it. Right. Feeling pretty lucky. And to me, it just felt like it would have been kind of like a quiet tower moment.
Oh, interesting.
What does that look like to you when you hear that phrase, or what comes to mind?
A quiet tower moment to me sounds like someone on the outside pulling apart brick by brick. So that maybe you still don't have the control, or maybe it is you pulling brick by brick. It's still going to create a little bit of chaos, a little bit of, oh, what's happening here? But it almost sounds more controllable. I've never thought of it like that. See, I feel like that's one of our key differences where I'm like, bring it on, bring that tower moment on.
Well, and so I love new beginnings. And I think this is why this has been so frustrating for me to not be ready for action, is I'm usually ready for inspired action, but like a quiet tower moment to me is kind of like having the rug pulled out from under you, but no major change has happened in your life, right? Like I'm not going to move. Different. I'm not starting a new job. I'm not XYZ, right? Like all these big, huge, semi-traumatic, even if exciting, like these are huge changes in your life, right? On the stress scale or whatever it's called. But to me, like just like internally, it pushes this major shift or this destruction of what was, and you have to just start rebuilding up to be able to, I don't know, cope or live or thrive in this new normal.
I would not have described that as a quiet tower moment, because that still feels like a straight up tower moment, even though it's not, even though it's the lives around you, it still affects you. But I get that. I kind of like that description of a quiet tower moment as not, it's directly affecting you, but it's not directly affecting you.
Yeah. Like there's no major loss, physical loss, right? Like everything to me is just happening more either internally or I don't know, in the 5D. Because I felt like this rest period, I think I've been worried about a major tower moment because I feel like stagnancy and delays and drawbacks and like this endless loop of not striving towards something or bettering something or something like that is like a magnet for tower moments, right? That like it's kind of that move or be moved thing, right? So if you're standing still, are you at risk of being trampled or pushed or whatever by the universe?
And yet I feel like there's so many people who from the outside look as if they've just been in this spot and are very comfortable with being in this spot. Why do you feel like it, you're sort of asking for it?
Because usually when I am standing still or in a loop, much like I kind of described, like an internal tower moment, there's growth happening that doesn't maybe necessarily have immediate outward change to it or physical
Mm-hmm.
change, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that rest period I was describing earlier, I don't feel like I've been growing. I probably have been. But I mean, I sure have spent a lot of time on social media and other stuff lately. And I mean, in the past, when I've had that kind of stagnancy or depression or, whatnot, tower moments usually came from like the inertia, right?
Mm.
And so it's hard to kind of tell the difference between rest and idleness.
Oh. Do you think you've ever had just pure, unadulterated rest?
No, and I also feel like my over analytical nature, I'm not having it now. And that's why the universe is just extending it. And how when everything was about to uproot, probably in line with divine timing, and I was like, oh crap, I'm not rested yet. And they're like, we agree.
Well, get on it.
Well, so because I'm like you, so I see those tower moments as a transition, not a violent end, right?
Mhm.
That I'm definitely someone who, if you can fix it with like money, time, or energy, it's an inconvenience, not a tragedy, right? Like
Mhm.
those types of things. I'm not afraid of new beginnings. I usually trust my gut. And here everything is just like how we talked about in the patience episode. Patience is not waiting, and I just feel like I've been waiting, and that's a hard thing to get out of when you don't know what's next, right? Like if the
Mhm.
universe is like, hi Tracy, you're going to do this for your career, and this is going to be your passion, and this is how your bills will get paid, and this will be your lover, and these will be your children, and this will be your home, but it's not going to happen until 2023. I'd be like, cool, I will patiently wait. But right now the universe is like, we're taking away everything comforting in your life while still leaving you comfortable, and you don't get to know why or what's next. And I'm like, thanks, no thanks. You've never had those moments?
Oh, I mean, I feel like there have been so many times in my life that I just sort of this low level continuous waiting for something.
Low level continuous waiting. What is that?
That is, oh, it's kind of interesting. I was actually just reading about this today. It's this that C.S. Lewis wrote about it. This thing that we can't really describe. It's sort of like this longing that is this undercurrent that we don't even realize, and we're not even sure what it's for. Like just this longing of something else.
Yeah, I
And
have that.
yeah, right. And it wasn't until I read it today that I went, oh,
I bet the Germans have a word for that. They have a
of
word for
course they do. And actually, they used a word, the Portuguese had a word for it, but
Ooh,
I don't look at me looking for where
right?
I put it. It's
Into
on
the
my phone.
ether universe,
Yeah,
give it.
yeah, yeah. So
Oh, a
it's like
longing.
this longing or knowing, but
Like,
not
but it's an
even,
unidentified
yes,
longing. Oh,
yes. And so
yes.
not only is it a longing, it's also a waiting for it, that low level, like it must be like it's got to be coming.
Right. So I
So
kind of feel like I just got this image of, I'm a boat at sea with the anchor down, but because I'm waiting for tide or I'm waiting for,
yeah,
the right
yeah.
current or whatever. Yet I'm the captain of this ship and I don't know which current I'm waiting for. I just know I'm not allowed to pull anchor yet, right? Like I'm waiting to hear from the Coast Guard when to go. Um, because typically, like a lot of tower moments come in your life I feel like when you ignore a gut feeling.
Yes.
And I will say, like, that's where I hope I've grown more, is where I've started trusting my intuition more with those types of things, and not ignoring that. I've stopped doing that, stuff that because I'm supposed to, or because it's right, or because it's good, right? Like, I'm still like, does this align with my soul versus like, oh, everybody says I should be a mental health therapist. No, I shouldn't. No, I thank you. That was kind of you. No, I shouldn't. Those types of things I've moved away from that. But yeah, it feels like a longing but a waiting, and I have to move to more patience, because I would prefer inspired action, because I'm worried about that move or be moved, right? Because I don't know where I want to go, and I don't want the universe to decide without my I don't want to say permission, but with collaboration, without my collaboration.
Oh, I like that. What if you took inspired action on something that isn't like on something that doesn't have such a high return on investment type of thing? You know what I mean?
What?
So like I don't know. So inspired action on, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm trying to think, desperately trying. I'm looking around again for.
Well, what I've decided, and we have a lot of episodes on different things of this, but just continuing on destroying the old, right? So that regardless of where I'm moving forward, or just going to what I was kind of panicked about, it wasn't necessarily that the new stuff I maybe wasn't ready for. I was just worried that old habits and behaviors would get in the way. Right.
Okay, well, that could be inspired action.
Yeah.
To specifically work on old habits and things like that, to get rid of them.
And I think if you're in a place where instead of waiting, like that you are having a tower moment and everything feels like it's crumbling or changing rapidly, how you welcome in a balance change versus just receiving an imbalanced implosion, right? Like, so there is some inspired action someone could take with that.
Yeah.
But I saw a TikTok today that kind of helped kind of prompt some of this or stir it up again. But Joseph Inspiration on TikTok had kind of like this message for whoever it came across. I'll share it on our Instagram. But he also talked about be still and trust. I don't want to.
Oh my God. You're hilarious. You're just hilarious. And you and I were just actually talking about that as well, that I brought that up in the thing that we were talking about earlier, how I just covered up all my notes. What was it? Love, trust, desire, and it opens. But that trust is very hard, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's easy to trust what you know or what you've seen, right? Like, I trust my friends because their behavior and words and actions have like shown me I can. So to just be still and trust, I don't know about that, because if it doesn't work, I'm the one that has to fix it, right?
Except, how will you ever know if it doesn't or does work?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, what if you're be still in trust and it's something that you think should have happened, in 3 months, and it ends up taking 2 years?
Why would you say something like that, Amy? I'm no longer doing a podcast. I'm now thinking about, oh my God, could I do this for another?
I no longer trust Amy as my podcast host.
So it's just like he also said it's another way of saying stand still and be known, and that is a little different to me. He talks about, being still is a state of being, and it doesn't, I got major fire sign energy in my chart. Standing still is hard. Can you stand still?
Surprisingly, I can.
How have you cultivated that?
Through practice.
What kind of practice?
Meditation.
Oh, damn it.
But also, I've learned to, I think because I saw people around me being impatient and not being able to stand still, and it giving them even more anxiety and bad feelings, that I realized that if I could be still and be fine with being still, that my outlook and my attitude would be much better.
Be fine with being still. I like that.
I don't
Was
think
it just like a mantra, or was it just meditation? Like how does one become fine with being still? Did it happen slowly and gradually, or was it like just a decision one day?
I think it happens slowly and gradually, but also too, now that I'm thinking a little bit deeper about it, I mean, I have my moon is in a very grounded sign. So Taurus, which is like, let me just sit here,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing, very comfortable with just like being. But also I went to a Catholic school, and you were rewarded for sitting still. And that could have something to do with it. But I was also taught to meditate at a fairly young age. I think I was 11 when I learned how to meditate. And so,
Do you have a go-to meditation for stillness?
what do you mean?
So are you doing,
Guided? You mean like a guided
yeah, do you do
meditation?
a guided meditation? Do you do visualizations? Like what kind of meditation?
Yeah, typically, I do a few different meditations, but right now I just typically use what is it, Calm, or I can't even remember the name of it. And I just do the timer. So it's sort of like it's just these three bells, three gongs that center me. The minute I hear those bells, I'm like that's it. And then my hands are a certain way. And sometimes I visualize, sometimes it's just things come and things go, but I'm still while meditating. And so now it doesn't always work. If I get an itch, there are times I can just still be still and go to the breath. And then there are other times that I'm like, I won't be able to be still until I scratch that itch.
Yeah.
But what this has helped me with then is there are times that if I'm waiting in line, if I'm on an airplane, if I'm in line for the Avatar ride at Animal Kingdom, I am fine. I am not impatient. I am not crabby. I'm just there and I'm fine.
See, I'd say for the majority of things in the 3D, I am very patient. And we talked about that in the patience episode too,
Mhm.
that I think you said I come across as a very patient person. And I'm wondering if maybe, like I've always said, there, with people in my life that are, like in it. I have a near indefinite amount of patience, but there's a select few that once you're out, you are out. It does
Yeah.
not recharge.
So when you're
So I'm
talking
wondering
about
if I have that with the universe, though. If
right,
like,
that's what I want to know. So for me, I am never impatient with the universe either, because who am I to be impatient with the universe?
well, you're Amy, damn it.
Right. And there are many things I can do within the parameters of what I control. But outside of those parameters, I am fine with being patient with whatever the universe is cooking up for me.
What
But I'm
what do
also
you
older than you.
I was say, what do you do in the meantime though? Like what do you do while being patient? Because I think like I'll have these moments where I'll actually be totally chill with it and I won't be forcing it and I won't be trying to like go out and make things happen. Right. And I will just be like, okay, yep, I will just sit and receive and be chill and rest. And then I'll run into somebody and they'll ask me, hey, how you doing? What's new in life? And I got nothing.
Yes.
Just
So
resting.
just resting.
Just resting.
So
You,
I don't know that I'm ever just resting either, because I
yeah.
feel like while I'm being patient with the universe, I clean my closet, I rearrange the furniture, I, you know, clean a room, I organize stuff.
Well, I
So
guess I do that.
it's, but right, but in the back of my mind, it's sort of like, let me make room, let me make space for this. My mom said
Ooh.
that, clean out your drawers and make room for something good to come in.
I was just gonna say, like, is that a way to prepare for tower moments just in general, is to always have an empty drawer, have an organized closet, have
Honestly,
space
I
for
would
change?
think that, I feel like that's probably what Rick feels like, but also, you've heard of the Swedish death cleanse, right? Where you literally clean your house so that if you were to die, someone else wouldn't have to come in and go, what the hell am I supposed to do with this stuff?
I don't
So
know. We just saw a TikTok last month that said, have the best estate sale.
well,
Like
we
maybe.
did. We did. But the best estate sale has nothing to do with like random photographs from a trip that are all with
That's
people who
true.
your family wouldn't know who they were, type of thing. But I do think, and looking around here, I'm always looking around here going, oh, way to go, Amy. You need to clean that up.
You know what though? Like, think of people who are pregnant and about to give birth and they have a tendency to
Mhm.
nest, and like even
Yes.
though it's a really positive thing for most people, a pregnancy, a baby is a huge tower moment, right? Like it's one of the
Oh,
ultimate ones we experience in
yes.
today's society and
And it's an
civilization.
ongoing tower moment for like 27 years.
Yeah, so maybe
No,
I just need to nest? Is that do I need to organize and clean and prepare?
I think that preparing anything is the best form of uh, being grateful. I feel like as you prepare, it's almost as if you're saying, I know that I'm going to be grateful for this thing that's coming in, and I'm making room for this thing so that it'll be easy for it to come in.
So do you have ideas on what I could be preparing?
Yeah, I'm thinking right now. I feel
So
like, yeah, what?
well, it's like why you think about it, that the TikTok that I keep referencing from Joseph, I hope I'm saying his name correctly, is he talks about having the commitment to stillness is having a commitment to what you know and don't know, and that
Mm.
you can part of how you can prepare is to lean into what you want but isn't here yet. And I think my problem is I was doing that, right? Like I know to meditate, I know to visualize, and I do all this stuff, but here I am 2.5 years later and I'm kind of feeling like an idiot and kind of feeling like, well, maybe this isn't the right thing to be leaning into, or maybe this visualization's never gonna happen, right? Like maybe the universe is waiting for me to catch up or to release or let go. But like, how can you lean into the unknown?
Yeah, by making space for whatever wants to show up. You don't know what you're making space for. And so I feel like even if you're not making space, but you rearrange things, what is it? I feel like it might be a Chinese, something to do with energy. So that if things aren't happening, it's almost like a feng shui type of thing, but it doesn't,
And
I
kind of
don't
like
think it
how
has, you
qigong with the
move,
energy in your
yeah,
body. Yeah.
you move 27 things, or you move 17 things in your house. You move 17 things in your house. There was a woman who, and I've heard this, oh boy, on a podcast, who had been diagnosed. I can't remember what she'd been diagnosed with, a pretty bad disease. And she just started to give, she decided to give, and I think it was 27 things
Yeah.
away.
So I just looked it up. There is a Chinese proverb that says, if you want to change your life, move 27 things in your home. It'll help activate the chi or life force energy in your space.
Mm-hmm. But this woman actually gave away, I think it was 17 things. It's like every day she gave something away, or 27 things or something. And it was either, sometimes it's not necessarily a physical thing, but it could be you give away a compliment or, something like that. And her symptoms lessened. Like to the point where she was in remission because she kept giving something away. But move 17 things. Try it. It'll
I
be
like
fun.
the idea of
or 27 things. Yeah.
Picking a different 27 thing or other number of just doing stuff for other people, right? Like when you said compliments, like what a nice challenge to be like, today I'm going to compliment 27 people. And
Ooh,
I
that
mean,
would be
part of what you're kind of doing then is just getting out of your own head, right? Like making it not about you. I'm now going to be thinking about what 27 things I can move, because honestly, like, and I don't really intend it at the time to be around the wheel of the year, but I move around my bedroom and living room furniture like crazy. They're the only two rooms that I can actually significantly change the energy of the space by moving stuff. And when we started doing the podcast a couple years ago, I realized, I tend to do this on the equinox and the solstices.
Funny.
I used to just think it was my ADHD or like preparing for like cabin fever or something like that. But no, it's not the changing of the seasons. It's like the tilt of the earth.
Yeah.
It just kind of makes me like, and even right now I've been telling myself like, you really like your living room like this. Do not change it next week.
Okay, you don't have to. How about this? Something just came to me. Are your windows clean? Can you see clearly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so your windows are clean. You can see clearly.
Yeah,
all right.
But no, I like the 27 things.
Yeah, I think, and I feel like that would be something, and it makes me want to do it. And I don't even have I'm not, well, except for that low level continuous longing, apparently, for something I don't know what it is.
I mean, it seems like, I mean, they say it can help with getting unstuck, but it just helps you change your life. And I think that's the thing with tower moments. I feel like if you're on top of it, you're not going to have like the negative tower moments if you are constantly creating and allowing or making space for change. Right. So everybody go move 27 things in your house. See what happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna. That's awesome. I love it.
This episode spoke to your soul as well as the 27 things thing just stuck with me. Please share it with a friend. And if you have time, give us some love on your preferred platform with a rate, review, and subscribe. You can also reach out to us via Instagram and YouTube under The Brightly Podcast or via email at brightlypodcast@gmail.com.
And with that, we hope you have a bright and beautiful day. Thanks.